Hey, what's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you with a season preview video today. Going to get back to doing some of these as we count down the days to college football. Again, I apologize. Probably won't get every team in the Power Five, but we're going to try to knock out as many as we can throughout the month of July and August up until week 0 at the end of the month. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and stick to the SEC. I think the next few I'm going to stick to the SEC. I think we got the Mississippi schools. We start here with Ole Miss. I think we also have Arkansas to do, uh, which I could be wrong on that, but we're going to try to finish up the SEC. Then we'll move to a different conference, get a few teams there, and we'll just kind of play it by ear and see how it goes. But again, want to look at today the Ole Miss Rebels, uh, who I think have a lot of potential this season and are being slept on. So that being said, what did they do last year? Uh, 8-5 overall. Lost the last four, including a bowl game to Texas Tech. So they went 7-5 in the regular season and actually had a downfall, but it was pretty tough. I'll give them that. It was a tough stretch. They beat Texas A&M 31-28 at Kyle Field. They get a bye week. They played it close with Alabama at Vaught Hemingway Stadium. Then they lose in a blowout on the road to Arkansas. Is Arkansas turning things around? We'll find out later this year. Mississippi State, they lost the Egg Bowl in a shootout that was low scoring, 24-22. But then they turn around, and I think they might have had some players hurt. I don't have that in my notes here, but I would say that they did play some good teams on the back half of the season. They played Texas Tech in the bowl game. Texas Tech has a lot of hype this year for 8 or 9 wins in the Big 12. Big turnaround there. Got great players, got great offense. Give them credit. Ole Miss is a good team. They might have had a 7 or 8 game win streak to start things out, and then they fell off in October, early November, throughout the month of November. Yeah, they fell off. But give them a lot of credit for how they started the season. Can they get off to that start again this year? Can they do even better? We're going to find out. Don't forget, upcoming shows this fall, Ballard Sports 360 coming your way in August, hopefully, and the Unprofessional Sports Show with myself and TikTok Chess Hall. Go subscribe to TikTok Chess Hall. Go subscribe to his second channel, Wrestling Talk, with him and Ramajama Taylor. We hope to get that show up and going very soon and providing great college football content here at Ballard Sports Media. So, that being said, getting back to Ole Miss. They're a great team, but they have a lot of struggles. The loss to Alabama, that's not a bad loss. Loss to Arkansas on the road. Arkansas is a good team. The fact that it was 42-27 shocks me. Still scratching our heads over that, trying to figure out what we saw on November 19th. Losing the Egg Bowl by 2. Okay, it's a rivalry game. Mississippi State wanted to win for Mike Leach. Rest in peace to him. They had their opportunities. Ole Miss did. They're a great team, and they got a lot of great experience this year. You got a cornerback in Zamari Walton, probably going to lead the secondary. You have Caleb Warren. You look at the defense, I would say it start. I mean, I honestly, I'm going to be on. I don't know where it starts. You have Troy Brown is gone, who led the linebackers with 93 total tackles, half a sack last year. You have Otis Reese, the fourth. He's gone. A bunch of guys hit the portal. Bring in some good commitments, though. Actually brought in a 5-star in Suntaran Perkins, who's a linebacker. Number 1 in the state of Mississippi. Number 1 linebacker in 2023. Commits to Ole Miss. It's pretty good. Jamarius Brown is an edge. The 4-star. Kedrick Riscam. Aiden Williams is a wide receiver on the offense. I could go down the list. I think the recruiting is good for Ole Miss. In 2023. So they even got a quarterback that committed recently last month in Austin Simmons from Moorhaven, Florida. So, and they bring in some transfers. Tasia Young is a safety from FAU. UTSA transfer Zachary Franklin is a wide receiver, a 4-star. I could go down the list. Georgia Tech transfer Aquila Stone is a defensive lineman. Also, Zamari Walton is a corner. He's a former 4-star. He's 6'3", 175. Walker Howard, of course. And that's the thing, too. 2 transfer quarterbacks. And that's what's going to be key for Ole Miss is the quarterback play. Spencer Sanders comes from Oklahoma State. Walker Howard from LSU. And then you have Jackson Dart. The 3-man race for the quarterback battle. We've talked about it on Touchdown Tuesdays with Mayhem Matthew a little bit. I forget who he thinks is going to be the guy. I think he said Spencer Sanders. I like Jackson Dart, personally, if I'm Ole Miss. Think you go with the talent. Now, everyone's got to win the team over. And honestly, let's go ahead and pull up their schedule for 2023 too, and look at what they have. Mercer at Tulane, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech could be very much improved this year. It's a night game on SEC Network. It's at Oxford. That's a game where the quarterback play is going to be critical. And then you got to go to Alabama. You got to play LSU and Arkansas at home. You get the bye week, October 14th. Go to Jordan-Hare, host Vandy and A&M. Go to Georgia, host ULM. You probably win that game there. Mississippi State on the road in the Egg Bowl on Thanksgiving. It's Tulane was a great 10 or 11 win team last season. You got them on the road. I think Ole Miss should be good enough to handle Tulane, but I'm not going to sleep on it. That could possibly be a trap. The trap games I picked out this evening for Ole Miss are Tulane, Georgia Tech, Arkansas, and Mississippi State. Those are the games that you should win, but probably could lose. Possible upsets, I'd say Alabama. Auburn is a question mark. I couldn't decide if that's a trap or a possible upset. Georgia is definitely a possible upset, more so than a trap game. You shouldn't win that. But if you play your cards right, and if things are not going Georgia's way, which I don't see why that would happen, Ole Miss comes away with a victory. It's an upset. And LSU is probably going to be the West favorite. Not even Alabama this year. I like Ole Miss this season. I know they have a lot of question marks. I understand that they are trying to figure some stuff out. I understand that they are, I don't even want to say rebuilding because they weren't building to begin with. They're still building. They're still in the building phase. So it's not a rebuild. A rebuild in college football is like, we were once at the top, and now we have to try to work our way back. Ole Miss was never really at the top. they've always been building. They've always been trying to find that right coach. Lane Kiffin, I think, is the guy for Ole Miss. Just a matter of what team's going to do it and get it done. And are they ever going to top LSU, Alabama, and win the West? Can they do it? I think at some point, honestly, I think they can. I mean, seriously. You talk about an offensive league today. You got an offensive mastermind in Lane Kiffin. Quarterbacks are out of control, like crazy good over in Oxford right now. This schedule, it sets up to where you could get some really good wins, but you're also going to have some tough losses. And that's just the way that it is. You look at Mercer and Tulane, I think they win those games to start the season out the gate. I'm going to give an at most prediction tonight, like I do any other preview video. Tulane, probably going to be close. That's probably a trap game. Tulane, Georgia Tech, Arkansas, Mississippi State for the trap games I mentioned. And remember, they went 8-5 last year, lost the ball game to Texas Tech. Texas Tech supposed to be a good team this year. I like Ole Miss. I think they got the players. They got the talent. They're recruiting. They just got to put it in play on the field, and they got to figure out the defense. It's almost as if Lane Kiffin cares so much about the offense, he doesn't give two hoots or a holler about what his defense is doing. That has to change. He's got to get a better mindset about the defense. Again, that's my personal opinion. I just have always heard, and you can kind of tell that Lane Kiffin just wants to throw the ball, just wants to score and score and score and score, and that's fine. But like I've said before, you can keep scoring, but if you keep giving up points and letting your opponent get to you, you're going to lose some games. Georgia Tech, I can't decide if Georgia Tech is their first test or if it's at Tulane, because Tulane was a really good team last year, and it's on the road. This is I guess a home and home. Let me check 2024 because they're playing them this year. It is not a home and home. It's just one road game. And of course, next year they play a new and improved SEC schedule with like Florida and Oklahoma and South Carolina. Anyway, so it's just one game with Tulane. They probably could handle Tulane, but again, be careful. I would say the traps, again, are Tulane, Georgia Tech, Arkansas, Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. I think this schedule could set up pretty nicely for them. At most, I'll go ahead and give a prediction, and I'll say at most it's 9-3, and it's possible there's a floor of 7-5. The losses at most, I'll give you Bama on the road, and you actually could win that game. I'll get to that in a second. LSU, a lot of people have them as the SEC West team to beat this season, and I don't blame them. Jada Daniels comes back. Harold Perkins on defense. You got your leaders. You got Brian Kelly. Won the West last year, returns a lot of production. Has to get better, right? Only way is up for the Tigers. And at UGA, no explanation needed there. We know all about Georgia. You got ULM on the schedule. You're going to beat teams like ULM. You probably beat teams like Vanderbilt. It'll probably be better than Texas A&M. I didn't put it in the trap game list. I don't know if Auburn is a trap game. Is it a possible upset? I put it in there, but I put question marks because I really don't know. I like Auburn this year, but I think I had them 7-5 or 6-6. I like the hire of Hugh Freeze. Think he's going to be great. Think he's a great coach. Did good at Ole Miss, but remember he had the vacated wins. the Hugh Freeze Bowl, ladies and gentlemen, on October 21st, 2023, is going to be a big game. That's going to be a rocking crowd. Auburn is sold out on home tickets. So they could be dangerous at home this year against Georgia, against Bama. You see Ole Miss. I think LSU's actually on the road for Auburn, but I mean Auburn's going to have some good home games. I'm going to go ahead and give a at most prediction for Ole Miss. Just spare you some time. 9-3 at most. And if they go 9-3, their three losses are Bama, LSU, and Georgia. There are a lot of questions for Ole Miss this year, but there's also a lot of good answers on the offense. And in today's college football, yes, Georgia has gone back to back, winning with defense, but I still believe in throwing the ball 80 yards downfield with wide open receivers to put points up on the board and win football games. And I think Ole Miss can do that this season. I really believe that. You know, uh, they got Jackson Dart, they got Spencer Sanders. You talk about the quarterback positions. Then you look at the running back positions, and they've always had good running backs. They got Quinshaw Judkins, who I think is running back one. They got Fred McAfee. They got Euless, Bentley, Kendrick, Riscano. I could go down the list. You know, I would say that Ole Miss has the depth on the depth chart. I think that they are one of the teams to beat in the SEC, but they're not the team to beat in the West yet. I don't think they're there to compete for the West. I think they want to win bowl games. I think they want to win big-time football games. I do think that they want to – I think they want to compete for the West, but I also don't think that from a perspective of us college football fans, we're looking at them like that. I just don't see that. So, Braylon Brown comes back in. Jordan Watkins. Actually, yeah, Jordan Watkins is on here. I see him here. Let's see. Jonathan Mingo is. Let me see if I can find him. I don't see Jonathan Mingo. I think he's gone. So they lost a couple guys. And again, they brought a lot in from the transfer portal. They brought in two quarterbacks. They brought in some linebackers and some corners. Linebacker Monty Montgomery. Zamari Walton is a corner from Georgia Tech. Akeel Stone is a defensive lineman. Stephon Wynn from Nebraska. The talent is there. There's a lot of they brought in 20 transfers. 20 players looked at Lane Kiffin and said, I want to come play for you. I think that's awesome. I'm pumped up. I'm ready to go. Ready to see what Ole Miss does this season. I want to hear from you guys in the comments section. What is their at most record prediction? Here at Ballard Sports Media, I'm going to give you guys 9-3 at most. They have to lose to Bama, LSU, and Georgia, right? After that, it's kind of some toss-ups. They could drop A&M. They could drop at Auburn. I just think Auburn has a lot of stuff to figure it out. And I think by October, Auburn's going to have stuff figured out with Hugh Freeze. But Ole Miss offense, is Auburn going to have that, to compete? We'll see. Anyway, 9-3 at most. I can't wait to get some shows back for you guys, like the Unprofessional Sports Show with TikTok Chess Hall, and we'll continue Touchdown Tuesdays. We're going to try to get as many preview videos out as possible this season, this off season, before football season starts, and we'll try to go live for some games too on weekends. So anyway, just let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Share this out. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. You get notified when we go live or post new videos here at Ballard Sports Media. So, Ole Miss, going to be a good team. I'm pulling for them. I really am. I hope they do good this year. I got them at 9-3 at most. Probably a floor of 7-5. Like I said, what they did last season was 8-5, and they lost their last four. So they went 8-4 in the regular season. I got them going an extra game, getting better. I think the schedule's a little nicer to them, a little easier. But again, some games like Georgia Tech on that schedule, some games like Tulane, got to be careful. But those are the games they should be better in. Love y'all. Y'all have a good one. God bless. And as always, from an Alabama fan, roll tide. Ballard Sports Media, check it out. I love you guys.